Good evening, folks. I wanted to make my first um, political video in a while. It's been what, more than 10 years probably? Um, a lot of things have changed. I am no longer an anarchist. I like to think of myself as still libertarian leaning. Um, um, in what's happened recently, I cannot call myself a libertarian. Or at the very least, I've seen a lot of my libertarian friends start to move leftward and still be pretty libertarian, at least in some sense. They are more in favor of cash transfers now, so something like a UBI, Universal Basic Income. Um, at this point, I think that it is absolutely necessary for us to have more rigorous interventions into the economy. We are not going to have enough people uh, self quarantining unless they are given a reason to, unless they are given either positive or negative incentives to. And it would be very unfair to give them negative incentives, to punish them if they're still going to economically suffer. And so I think it's absolutely crucial for us to move in the direction of having free housing and free healthcare for everybody. And it's um, I'm not exactly late to the game. This is actually something I've been thinking about a lot for a long time, but now it's pretty set in stone for me. Um, for me, I feel like there's really not much of a debate right now, and it's really frustrating to see not just seeing people who um, are in a part of the spectrum that I used to be at be very, seeing them come up with any excuse they could to not take this virus seriously, um, to to downplay the hate crimes that have been committed, that are being committed against people who have who share my racial background, people who are part Asian, or people who are Asian. I'm part Asian. Um, it's just really frustrating. One of the predictions that I've seen, there's this thing floating around on Facebook where one person suggests that we're going to be less politically polarized um, by the end of this. At the moment, I don't see that happening. I see a lot of foot dragging, and I see people who were already reactionary getting more reactionary, and yeah, it's just frustrating. At the moment, I feel like my dad um, is one of the few real conservatives left. A conservative is somebody who respects authority, and my dad is one of the few people who's social conservative and economically conservative who also is able to recognize a scientific medical authority and who is able to substantially follow the advice of that authority. And I think that's what conservative should mean now. And right now, it's with the Republican Party having a history of catering to people who do not want to acknowledge um, science, mainstream science, the scientific consensus, and who disparage it and view it as basically an enemy of civilization. Um, it shouldn't be a surprise that we're seeing the things that we're seeing. It shouldn't be a surprise that more conservative states have a worse plan and uh, and are not addressing this disease the way that they ought to. And it's even if you just look at California, it's the more conservative areas where everybody's still going out and where people are not abiding the um, by the advice of our public health experts. this is why Roosevelt didn't like populists. Populists hated experts. Anyway, those are my thoughts for right now. I hope everybody's okay. I hope everybody's staying inside. And I also hope that things do get better for all of us. Talk to you guys later.